You've walked for 95 days. That's right. And that is amazing. But today we're going to talk about how do we keep that going? How do we make sure that that continues so that the progress you've made doesn't stop just here? Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode, and I'm excited that you are back with me for another episode of my 100-day walk to consistency. We are on the move. We are in the final stretches, y'all. This is day number 95. Remember, every time you show up, every day that you're here, every day that you say yes, you are saying that you are showing up for yourself and that you are going to do what it takes to be consistent, to be resilient, to be resistant, and to be more self-confident. I'm glad. It is your superpower, this consistency that we're on. And let's go ahead, let's get started. I'll see you on the walk. So that number is staggering, isn't it? 95. That's 95. 95 days, 95 times, 95 moments that you said yes, 95 days that you put yourself first, that you showed up, that you did what needed to be done to put another piece to the puzzle to be successful. And so what we're going to spend some time today talking about, well, how do we make sure that the gains that we've had continue? How do we keep that momentum going? What's next, right? That's what we're talking about. What is next? Because if we're not careful, if we don't solidify some of the things that we've learned, we can end up not continuing, and we see that the gains that we've had can begin slipping away. And so we don't want that to happen. So we're going to spend some time talking about, well, what do we do now? What's the next step? How do we get there? What's the next planning phase that we've got to do to make sure that we're continuing to move in the direction that keeps us successful? So why do we need to plan ahead? Well, I've told you, and you've seen me when we were in Paris, we were in London. As a matter of fact, you remember we did an episode in Jamaica. And those were a couple of different trips. And some of the planning that went into it was really, we got there. And so we had to get tickets. We had to find a place that we were going to stay. Now, when I went with my guys, we really didn't know what we were going to do other than, hey, we're in the country, right? But even in that, there had to be some planning. We coordinated, when we got there, who was going to get the car, who was going to, because I think I was the last one to get there. And so someone got there, I think at noon, somebody got there at 2 o'clock. I ended up getting there like 3, almost 4 o'clock. So I was the last one. Well, who's going to pick up the car? What do you guys do while you're waiting? On the way to the house, what do we need to pick up? Do we have the keys to the house? So all those things had to be coordinated so that we could at least be in the space so that the trip was good. So even though we didn't have what we were going to do on a daily basis, there were some basic things that we needed to do, basic things that we needed to have that would make the trip successful. Now, flash forward, and then the trip to when we went to London and to Paris, that was a whole different story, right? So all those basic things we had as well, but I have a planner at my house, and so we had some stuff. As a matter of fact, my son, we had an itinerary, and I would ask my wife something, and she said, "Oh, let's check the itinerary." And my son said, he says, "Is that like the syllabus?" Right? So success without structure will often fade. And I say it all the time, and you're going to get tired of me saying it, well, you're not going to get tired. You're going to begin incorporating it into what you say. We often don't succeed not because we don't have drive, not because we don't have passion, not because we even don't have motivation. We often don't succeed because we don't have structure. And so if we have some success and we don't have a way of putting the things in place that we need to maintain that success, then that success begins to fade. So that's one of the reasons that we need to plan ahead. So when you finish a race, you need a plan for the next time. So what are we going to do next? Whenever, they play basketball, they play football, whatever game they're playing, a lot of times they'll watch tape. They'll go back and look at themselves. I watch my videos. Yep, I do. In fact, I was telling somebody just yesterday that when I finish the video, I go back and in my morning routine when I'm driving to work or wherever, I'm watching the video and I'm in the process of doing a couple of things. One, I'm doing it with you. I'm walking through the process. I'm doing the challenges. I'm learning the concepts. I'm journaling. All of that I'm doing. But one of the reasons I also watch it is because I need to learn. I'm learning from myself. Okay? And so just like people watch their videos, people watch tape, people watch their performances so that they can work on improving, when we finish a particular thing, when we finish this, when we achieve, we're looking back and we're saying, okay, let me evaluate where I've been, and we need a plan on how we move forward. How do we go to the next level? Otherwise, the momentum stalls. And we've already said that when we're not moving, then we are regressing. And so we don't want to break the momentum. We don't want to regress. And so planning ahead, looking forward, using this to say, okay, where do we go next? And then planning helps to prevent the what now void that leads to backsliding. Right? That what now, remember we talked several episodes ago that one of the reasons that we sometimes have difficulty is because okay, I finished that, but what do I do now? And so in the meantime, in our trying to find the what do I do now, that is loss of momentum. And momentum, once you get over the hump, once you get over the inertia, momentum is going. But when you stop, then that inertia you got to put energy into that again. And so we don't want to keep doing that. And so what's next, right? So what's next as we begin looking forward? A plan gives you success. It gives your success somewhere to live. Oh, you like that one? So a plan gives your success somewhere to live. Because success outside of structure is just nebulous. It's just out there. Sometimes I'll ask patients or someone in the office, a client, I'll say to them, well, what do you think is helping with your success? And they'll say, I don't know. What helped you with your blood sugars? Why do you think your blood sugars are better? I'm not sure. Why do you think your weight's going down? I don't know. Now here's the thing, they've achieved some measure of success, right? Blood sugars are better, A1C is better, weight's down. But because they don't know what caused it, they don't know how to keep going. They don't know how to repeat it. They don't know whether this is just going to be a fluke, whether there's something. Right? It's almost like standing on a branch and cutting the branch. And well, what's keeping me up? And so we don't want to be in that space where there's that anxiety. And so your success has to live somewhere. And it lives within the plan. It lives within the structure. And so that's why it is important that we plan ahead so that we're looking to see, well, what do we do now? What's the next thing? What's the place that we're going to park this success so that we can keep moving, excuse me, so we can keep moving in the correct direction. So what does ongoing success look like? All right, so we have our SMART goals, and we've sat down and we've come up with those. We have our North Star statement. But what does ongoing success look like? So one, ongoing success looks much like the three words that you probably hear me keep saying: rhythm, alignment, and structure. So what is the rhythm? What is the general tone? What's the general tenure of your life? When you wake up, is every day uncertain? Is every day, I'm not sure what I'm about? Is every day a crapshoot? Is every day a new having to figure everything out? Or is there a point? Is there a tone? Is there already a plan? And now today is simply following through with the plan. Right? That's the rhythm. That's the rhythm of your life. When you wake up, do your actions. When you get out of bed, do your actions, do your thoughts. Do they reflect where you say that you want to go? Do they reflect that North Star statement? Or do you find yourself disjointed, disconnected, at odds, at your wit's end about what to do next as it relates to going down the path for that thing that you say is your North Star statement? Right? So what is the rhythm? What is the rhythm? Also, so that's a daily pattern, right? The daily rhythm. There's also clarity, mental clarity. So are you,
How you doing, man?
pretty good, are you clear about what it is that you are doing and what it is that you are about? Right? Mental clarity. Do you constantly question yourself, or do you trust yourself? Do you constantly find yourself in doubt? If that's the case, then we've got some work to do, right? Because the North Star statement, the why, the purpose, what I'm about, what's the rhythm, right? Are you constantly questioning that? Now, I guess let me hop in here and just say quickly, when I say question, not in questioning as in the way we've been discussing evaluation, because out of evaluation can come as questions, because we are looking to find, trying to make sure that we are on point, trying to make sure that we don't have to pivot, we don't have to change. Now that is a process that we have in place, but I'm talking about the just general doubt about the things that we're doing, doubt about where we're heading, doubt about what our purpose is. Okay? Is that a constant struggle? If not, well, not if not, but it shouldn't be, because we are now, as we're looking into the future, we're looking to solidify our success, and ongoing success looks like, yeah, there's a daily pattern, there's a daily rhythm to my life, there's a daily tenure, a daily tone to my life, and I have mental clarity about what it is I'm doing, right? So a daily pattern, rhythm, mental clarity, emotional strength. So we're talking about what success looks like, what success looks like. You bounce back quicker and you recognize your triggers. Because we're successful, right? We've been down that path, been there, done that. We evaluated. We're more resilient. We're more consistent. We're stronger. We're more self-confident now. So success looks like that. Success says that I'm resilient. I'm not trying to be resilient. I am resilient, right? I've changed the words that I use. I am embodying the Keystone Principles, or they are embodying me, or they are part of me. They are no longer outside of me, these little things that I check off, but they are built into who I am, how I think, how I walk, how I behave, how I talk, how people see me because I'm projecting a different person than I used to be, right? Emotional strength, physical energy. Yeah. Right? Because this 100-day walk, you're more flexible. You've been losing some weight, so those joints don't hurt as much. Your blood sugars are better, so you feel stronger, you feel better, you feel more energetic. You don't feel as though your body is working against you, that is fighting against you, right? So we're talking about success. So that's what ongoing success looks like, because we've put in the time, we've worked, we have done what we needed to do over the last 100 days to work on our health. Remember, physical, mental, emotional, social, psychological, relational, all of those things, those are part of the domains of wellness. If you've not done so, make sure you get to our channel, Dwain Woode MD Live, and so you will see us as we walk through that pathway, as we walk through those domains. So physical, you move better, you rest better, you're nourishing your body, you're drinking water, you're getting sleep, you're being intentional. That's success. That's what success looks like. So we're talking about what it looks like. And you've got spiritual grounding. You have an inner power, an inner peace. You have a higher calling. You have something outside of you that is pushing you. You are aligned with that purpose. You're aligned with those ideas, right? So success, we're talking about success. Notice that you may have come and you may have started on any number of places in terms of how you got into the 100-day walking. You decided that you needed to save some money. You need to be healthier. You need to lose some weight. You need to have better blood sugar. You need to work on your cholesterol. You need to work on your high blood pressure. You need to work on your polycystic ovarian syndrome. But look at this, the keystone principles, they transcend they transcend that initial thing that you showed up with, because they now touch everything. I was talking last night on one of my shows about the domains. And I said, when we teach the domains, we teach them as though they are isolated items. Like we teach physical over there, spiritual over here, emotional over there, social/relational over here. But the truth of the matter is that they all overlap. Just like the keystone principles, they all intertwine. And you cannot touch a keystone principle without it affecting another one. That domino that we've talked about. The same thing here, that because we are successful, then all the domains, all aspects of our lives are impacted. And so success looks like limitless living. Success looks like the thought and the underlying phrase and underlying statement that I'm not allowing anything inside of me, no hurt feelings, no depression, no anxiety, no fear. I'm not allowing anything outside of me, no interaction with anybody, no interpersonal relationship, no dissatisfaction with my job, no circumstance where I have had a confused interaction with somebody. I'm not allowing anything from inside or nothing from outside to prevent me from doing what I need to do to be successful. Limitless living. That's what success looks like. So these things that we just talked about, right? Rhythm, mental clarity, emotional strength, physical energy, spiritual grounding, all of those, yeah. That's limitless living. So if you live a limitless life, if you're living limitlessly, that's it right there. That's what success looks like. That's what it is. This is what we're maintaining. This is what we're expanding. This is where we're going. And so as you think about success, what you're doing is you're saying to yourself that I am embodying this stuff. This is not just something that's going to be outside of me, but every area, every aspect, every fiber, every piece of my being is working to be in this space. And that is what success looks like. All right? So we're evaluating. So what do we keep as we talk about success, and what do we let go? Because there are some things that, yeah, man, that was great. That was right there. Man, if I got to do that again. So that we got to keep. And then, oh, well, that didn't go quite so like I thought. That behavior, that whatever it is, didn't quite work. And so those are some things that we probably need to begin thinking about getting rid of. So not everything in the past 95 days, not everything that happened in the last 95 days needs to continue exactly like it is. So the first thought is that there are some things that we will continue, but not in the current form. We're going to get up and we're going to put some time. We're going to do 30 minutes, but maybe it's not walking. Maybe you've been walking. Maybe now you're going to row. Maybe now you're going to lift. Maybe now you're going to do yoga. Maybe now you're going to swim, right? So whatever it is, we're continuing the structure, but the actual thing doesn't have to stay. So it's continuing, but not in the same form as it is right now. So keystone habits that make a difference continue. So walking, well let me go back up. So keystone habits, setting time aside is a keystone habit. Setting time aside is going to continue because you got to do it. What's the rhythm? What's the structure of your life? Maybe in that structure, like I said, we're doing something totally different than what we've been doing. Maybe you're not walking anymore. Maybe you're jogging. Maybe you're running. Maybe you're playing tennis. But you're doing something. Yeah, right? You're doing something because that's a keystone habit. Maybe you're journaling as part of that process and you didn't journal before, right? Maybe you are using a video recorder. What is it? What is it that you're doing? Did you learn how to hydrate? Right? That stays. So what are the things that have happened that I need to tweak? What are the things that happened that I need to continue doing? Anchors like routines, visualization, tracking, all of those will stay. So remember, the keystone habits are staying. Keystone habits are staying. Some of the anchors, which can be keystone habits. So visualization. You've learned how to do that now. You've learned how to be mindful. You know, learn how to center yourself. Those are habits that you've learned during the process. Those are anchors that will help you maintain success. So those will stay. Mindset tools like SMART goals, habit tracking, balanced bites. All of those are tools, mindset tools that we keep, right? So we're keeping keystone principles. We're keeping those anchors. We're keeping those mindset principles, those things that have helped us as we've changed our thought process. Those things will stay. What are some things then that we're going to let go of, right? Because there are some things that we had, some things that we brought with us, some things that we may still be holding on to that we got to let go of. Perfectionism is one. Perfectionism says that things have to be perfect. They have to be just so. And if they're not so, then I can't continue, I can't do, I can't start, I can't initiate. There's a lawnmower going on, so I'm crossing over the street, see if I can get, actually it's a leaf blower. Right, so we're letting go of that. We're letting go of perfectionism and the pressure to do it all and do it just right. I mentioned to you that I'm working on myself. I'm working on my thought processes. I'm working on just expanding my mind and my goals. And I had to make a decision recently. And here it is, right? So this decision was made based on my North Star statement. And I've said to you that there are going to be amazing opportunities that come to you. Opportunities that are not wrong, opportunities that are actually can be very profitable, can be very beneficial in the things that you're doing. But one thing, well, a couple of things. One, maybe that opportunity doesn't directly take you where you want to go. And so the question you have to ask is, am I willing to do that now and go off track, however amazing the opportunity is? Or do I stick the course, right? That's number one. Number two, something that we didn't talk about before with opportunities, is that sometimes an opportunity is not the wrong one. It actually is the right one for the direction you're going in, but it's not the right time. And so recently I had to make a decision about an amazing opportunity that came my way. And I had to say, no, however great this is, it is not the thing that I need to do right now. And I'll tell you, I was going to say I struggled over it. And I don't want to call it a struggle, but it was a tough decision. Because it's something that I've been looking forward to, something actually I mentioned a little bit here on one of our episodes. And the more I evaluated it, I like, yeah, it's great, it's good, it's going to do great wonders for me, but right now that's not the time, because there's some other things that I need to do that are more directly related and directly pertinent to what I'm doing right now. So you have to make those decisions. So let go of perfectionism. And the reason I was telling you that story is that a part of my wanting to do this other thing was perfectionism. Yeah, it was. Because I'm like, okay, if I get it just right, if I can improve this, I can get this going. But at some point, you just got to get out and walk. You got to get out and hit the ground. Enough planning, enough theory, enough of that. Let's get it done. It's a perfectionism. Number two, strategies that didn't serve you. So are there some things that you were doing that didn't really take you in the right direction? So those have got to go. Right? So you got to evaluate what it is that you're doing. Can't keep those. If they're not what I need to do, then they got to go. Negative self-talk tied to the past version of yourself, then those have got to go as well. So the negative talk, the negative self-talk, the negative words that we use, that coach that we're trying to strengthen, yeah, that gets kept. But that critic's got to go. We're not using those words about ourselves anymore. We are not in a fixed mindset. We are in a growth mindset. We can expand. We can get better. We can do better. We can get more. So negative self-talk has got to go, because that version of ourselves is no longer here. As we said in I think it was our previous episode, is the person that showed up here, that's not the same person as when you started. So what are those things that I got to keep? What are those things that I am going to let go? And that is part of our success. So how do we design the next phase? Where do we go? How do we do that? Well, let's become an architect. Number one, we want to set the next 30-day goals. What is it going to look like in the next 30 days? After we finish this. Right? So what does the next 30 days look like for us? Because we can't wait until the end to decide on the 30 days. Because if we do, then once again, we're losing momentum. So pick a goal that stretches you from where we are. So once again, I mentioned if you're walking, then maybe you do, instead of a 20-minute mile, maybe you do a 15-minute mile. If you're rowing, you use some other metrics. If it's a weight issue, then you are aiming to improve the acceleration of that. If you're aiming to do some things that get you better because you notice that you've plateaued. If it's a blood sugar goal, then what do I do to get better blood sugars? If it is a metabolic syndrome, fatty liver, polycystic ovarian syndrome, what it is, what do I do to move into that space? What's the next thing that I do to set myself up for success? And then you want to plan some things. So maybe it's, hey, I gotta get to bed earlier. Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand. Right, maybe I gotta get to bed earlier. Maybe I've got to decide if I get to bed earlier, maybe I get up a little earlier. So I've been maybe doing my my time for the day a little haphazardly, incorrectly, just whenever. And if I go to bed a little earlier, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So what is it going to be? So that's an example of the next 30 days. Commit to cleaning up your eating plan. What is it you're going to eat? Right? Remember, so what we're doing is we're tweaking and we're coming up with a plan. What is our next goal? What is our next journey? Where does that begin? What does the next 30 days look like for us? So we want to maintain our physical movement habit. Right? Maybe that's your plan for the next 30 days. What are we going to do? How are you going to do that? Then you want to schedule weekly check-ins. Set a day during that week, over the next 30 days, once a week, where you're going to be checking in. So that you are making sure that you are not just allowing chance to happen. Right? But you are doing what you need to do to keep that structure in place. Set a daily check-in. Ask yourself, did I stay consistent? Did I do what I said I was going to do today? Right? Get a journal, right? There it is. Get the journal. Because you're documenting. And you want to see that visual. That, yeah, I did it. And there it is. It's marked off right there. What worked? What was good? What didn't work? What do I need to change over the next 30 days? Right? So what does it look like? What is my goal? You're going to find that. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to check in once a week on whatever day. And I'm evaluating, always evaluating. Did it work? Did it not work? What worked? What do I need to change? What do I need to tweak? And then you want to choose a system, a supported system, a supportive structure. You got an accountability buddy, accountability partner. You've joined our group. You've joined our membership. You found an online community where you are. You started your community at your house, started your community in your neighborhood. What is it that you've done? Not that what you've done, but what is it that's going to keep you accountable? Right? We talked about accountability and the benefits of accountability. Here's some birds. Let's see if I can find them. Of course, as soon as I stop, they stopped as well. I'm trying to see if I'm quiet. Right? So what is the accountability system that you're going to use? What's the support system that you're going to use? And then you are going to make sure that you are always, did I say always? That you are always in that journal. Remember, you're writing a manual for yourself. And that journal, not only is it a manual, but it allows you to record those things that may be lost if you don't put them down. Because there are thoughts that you're going to have. In fact, I was talking to one of our community members just yesterday or the day before yesterday in our community meetup. And she was saying that she was up. She was up that night because she was journaling, because her mind was just racing. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. When limitless living happens, oh yeah, yeah. So. What's next? We're day number 95, we're in the final stretches of being consistent. We're in the final stretches of doing the thing that we said we wanted to do. Yeah, we're there. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at that, got some. Right? And here is day number 95. Amazing conversation. So now let's figure out what we're going to do next. All right, so here's our challenge. We can't ever go without having a challenge. And there's a piece of, let's see, what is that? Okay, there we go. Here's your challenge. You're going to build your ongoing success blueprint. And you've got your journal out. And here we go. Number 1, reflect on what worked over the past 95 days. What worked? And go ahead and list 3 of those things, 3 of those habits that helped you over the last 95 days. What's yours? What was the habit? 3 of them. What worked? What helped you get over the humps? Number 2, what's your next goal? Where are we heading next for you? What does that look like? What is that new North Star? What is that new goal? What is that new SMART goal? What's that new milestone? What does that look like? And we want to do this. Pick one that you're going to focus on over the next 30 days, and write it out in the SMART format: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Yeah? Yep. And maybe add ER. Remember, evaluate and revisit. And then identify your support system. Who will you bring into your network that's going to be helping you, that's going to keep you consistent, that's going to help push you, that's going to keep your feet to the fire, that's going to be there to pull you along, allow you to lean on them over the next 30 days. So write down at least one person that you're going to use or help, that will help you in your support system. And then schedule your first check-in. Schedule the first check-in. So the day when you're done, right, a week later, you should be checking in with yourself. You say, hey, what's going on? Pick a day, pick a time, pick a week, but put it on your calendar. And then I want you to create an affirmation for the next phase of your life. For this next thing that you're going to, let's go ahead and let's write an affirmation. And it will be depending on what you're doing. But here's the sample one. I'm growing stronger every day. My success is not an event. It is a lifestyle. So my success is not an event. It's not something that happens once. It's not something that happens when lightning strikes. But it is an ongoing, intentional, continuing process that sets me up for success, that is pushing me, that's pulling me along the way, because I am being intentional about it, and I'm showing up every single day. And every day that I show up, I'm adding another piece, another block, another piece to my puzzle that says I am doing what I need to do for myself so that I can be healthy. Yeah. There it is. So this is not the end, right? So this is not the end. It's actually a new beginning. You're stepping into a phase of your life, a phase of this process that will help you to soar. Because up until now, there may have been doubt. There may have been some difficult negative talk, some history, some memories, some things that you had to struggle with. But over the last 90 days, 95 days now, and when we get to 100 days, you have put in the work to dig deep, to uproot, to throw out, to then reconstruct and rebuild who you are. 100-day walk to consistency and health. It's not about the walk, y'all. Woo! It's not about the walk. It's about what you're building. And the thing that you're building is the new version of yourself. Yeah, because there's structure. The structure brings strength. There's strategy, which gives you empowerment. And there's change in your mindset, which when you do that, opens the possibilities beyond your belief. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. Thank you for joining me for another episode of my 100-Day Walk to Consistency and Health. Man, I'm so glad that you're here. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. And we're creating the life we've always wanted because we're living the limitless life, which is equated with success. We'll see you tomorrow as we go to day number 96. We'll see you on the walk. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. And as we approach the end of our 100-Day Walk to Consistency and Health, I want to pause and invite you to look ahead. Because what we've built together is just the beginning of an even more powerful journey. Over the past 100 days, you've developed a habit. You've developed resistance, resilience. You've developed strength, and things that form the cornerstone of your success. Now, as we close this chapter, I'm excited to share that our next series is on the horizon that's going to build on everything that you've learned so far. In the upcoming series, we want to dive deeper into advanced strategies that harness your newly cultivated strengths, refine your mindset, and elevate your strategic thinking. Imagine transforming daily consistency into an unstoppable force that propels you to tackle even greater challenges with confidence. My vision for the next phase is simple: to empower you not only to sustain your current success, but to channel it into innovative strategies that drive you past these impacts that you've had to more lasting, more fulfilling impacts. We've explored how to leverage your inner strength and channel it into areas of leadership, creativity, and advanced personal growth. And we're going to go further. The habits you form are the foundation on which you can build a life of limitless potential. Every lesson, every win, every setback during the past 100 days has prepared you for what's next. Think of today as a bridge where the consistency and the discipline that you've mastered become a stepping stone towards a future when strategy meets mindset. In the next series, it's designed to help you integrate these principles to every aspect of your life, making your progress both sustainable and exponential. I invite you to stay tuned and actively participate as we embark on this new chapter. Reflect on your journey so far and consider the way that you can take these lessons to the next level. Let's step into the future together. Thank you for being part of this transformative journey. Your growth, resilience, and commitment are what this community needs. Get ready to embrace the next series, where your strengths, strategy, and mindset will propel you to even greater heights. Stay tuned, and I'll see you as we begin this exciting new chapter together.